So you've worked with numerous CEOs in your career as the CPRO, as you said, the corporate or chief public relations officer, or as a private consultant. And you used all those experiences to write your book, The CEO's Playbook, from the perspective of the counselor kind of giving advice to CEOs, what to think about in their position. So talk a little bit about this book, why you wrote it, how it's been used, and just, well, you've really talked about the duties of a PR practitioner, and you've talked about the importance of the relationship, but what has come about because of this playbook?
Maybe something, but I can't imagine that anything of any real consequences come about as a result of it. I've got a lot of things off my chest in it, and it pretty well summarizes what I think this game is. I use the game imagery in a positive way, not that it's insubstantial, but that it's very, very important. It is a game. There are winners or losers. There are really important stakes. But it's used in college classes. Some CEOs have used it, and one or two have told me they thought it gave them some good ideas. But I think that's probably about the extent of the book. Although, as I say, it gave me an opportunity. You may notice if you've read it, and perhaps you haven't, and that wouldn't surprise me. There is a chapter in here that's intended to educate the CEO, to explain to him that public relations isn't a marketing function, that it is a CEO function. These are the things that ought to be part of that function, and it all ought to report to you because the things that it gets done are so important to you that you can't afford to have amateurs do them. So that chapter, I hope, may have helped a little bit. But there are other things in there that are useful. This started as a series of memos to a young executive with whom I was working at the time who was in line to be CEO. He was going to be CEO. And this started as a series of memos to him, explaining to him things that I thought he ought to know as he got ready for this job. One of which is that if you concentrate just on managing the company, you're going to lose, because a large part of your function is to manage all these outside forces that affect your ability to make a profit, which sort of speaks as well to the Page principles. The book makes specific reference to them, and I think Page was dead right and continues to be dead right in that all our companies operate at the pleasure of the publics they serve, and we had better serve them well. We had better look out for their interests, and we had better be responsive to them. And we need to operate in such a way that they will give us permission to operate profitably. I think that's true, and that means a couple of things, but shorthand, a lot of simple shorthand sort of things like try to do the right thing and tell the truth.
You've mentioned the Page Society. How important has Page Society and that networking been to individuals such as yourself?
Well, I think the society is a remarkable society. And I think the people who put it together and have made it grow have done just an absolutely fantastic job. People like Ed Block and Larry Foster and Marilyn Laurie and others, John Coden, done just a fantastic job and a real service to the profession by putting it together, but not just putting it together, but making it grow and grow into the sort of organization that it's grown into. The networking has been absolutely invaluable and continues to be invaluable, and is one of the big rewards that anybody who comes into the organization gets. I mentioned luck in my career. I've been very lucky in my career in having a lot of people and having good mentors. Harry Tolles, who was at the Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources, who hired me, was one. My dad was one. Larry Foster at Johnson & Johnson. Not a mentor so much. I'm not, but a colleague who had more experience, more senior than me, more experience than I've had or had at the time. Always was very, very important in bouncing ideas off of Ed Block. The opportunity to have access to world-class professionals like that is absolutely priceless, and that's one of the things that the page offers, I think. And the other thing that the page offers, and that I hope is being played very, very strongly among all the membership, is this principle that we're responsible. We need to understand that we work for the shareholder, but we work for the public too. Unless we work for the public, we're not going to be allowed to do the other.